Mike Coleman, what's up, bud? 922 Crappie Barbecue, what's going on, man? Trying to get everything lined out here and see if I got it right. Y'all let me know if it's buffering or something like that. We're going to tie up a few jigs, try to get into a different routine. Ronnie Harris, good afternoon. Kevin Christensen, how's it going today? We're going to tie some jigs and just talk fishing. I don't think it'll buffer, but I don't know about this time of evening, you know. I just switched shifts, went to first shift from second shift. So, good in Alabama. Private driver Kyle, good afternoon, bud. What's going on? We got 10 people on. That ain't bad. Better than what I thought. We're just going to tie up some of these jigs and y'all ask questions or talk fishing. I'm trying to get all my chats to stay up. Wallace Brown, good evening in Oklahoma. Ain't too far away from me. I guess depending on where you live in Oklahoma. I'm in the southwest Missouri. Good old shift work. Gotta say, I do not miss it, brother. No, I wish I was in that spot to where I could say I don't miss it either. I really, really do. But, pays the bills. I've been tying some of these a little bit different. I've been adding some bucktail in with my marabou. Just changing things up a little bit. We're going to put some chartreuse marabou in this one. I didn't realize Catfish Weekly was on at the same time. I seen a market canceled. I didn't think anybody else was on a Monday. I try to avoid when everybody else is on. Watching from Lindsay, Texas. Well, good evening, Casey. Glad to see you're on. Yeah, I'm not quite old enough to retire. It's on the horizon. I can see it. I still got another good 15 years to go, probably 10, 15 years. See, that comes out pretty cool, so don't be afraid to add a different material in. So you'll have that marabou where it's kind of pulsating under the water, then you'll have that bucktail. Melanie Tideman, good evening from Palm de Terre. Man, that's right there in my neck of the woods. I gotta say, though, I haven't been on Palmy since... Man, I'd have to say it's been probably May. Last time I was on Palmy. I've been hitting Stockton a lot. Kind of forcing myself to learn a different lake and different fish. Actually, I can say I've kind of enjoyed chasing those walleye. It's been kind of fun. I've actually really enjoyed that. It's been at least since May since I've hit Palm de Terre. Thank you, Mike. I think it looks kind of cool. Adding a different material in there with it. That bucktail, I think, kind of sets it off a little bit. And what I'm planning on doing is just making a box. Probably put like 40 to 50 jigs in it, and I'll probably just put it up for sale. I don't want to get into doing what I was doing before, taking custom orders and trying to stay caught up on it. It was wearing me out, to tell you the truth. That body is some kind of Chanel, but I know I've got it in the wrong pack. Let me see if I got some. Let's see, it is New Age Chanel, but I can't remember what the name of it was, and I must have lost a pack because I got it in a pack that says Pearl Chanel Root Beer. Yeah, them guys with custom orders kept me busy. I got it at Plateau Fly Shop, but I don't know the name of that one. All I know is that it is New Age Chanel. And it's probably got some weird name because this pink and purple is actually called Payoff. So I ain't sure what you would call that color or what they call that color. I wish I'd kept the bag, and it's probably down there at the bottom somewhere. I get in a really bad habit of taking stuff out of the pack and throwing the package away, and people ask me what's the name of that, and I've got no idea. But I know for a fact I got it at Plateau Fly Shop in Springfield. And if you ask them which one I bought, they might even know which one it is. Money Yellow, that could be the name of it. But I'm pretty sure it's probably not like Black and Chartreuse. I'm sure it's got some kind of crazy name, Mountain Dew or something like that, or Money Yellow. Money Yellow, that's what we're going to call it. But I think it kind of comes out kind of cool looking with that little bit of bucktail. I should have got a little more in the center, but I was off some. Glenn, how's it going, bud? PC Bullet Empire, Bumblebee, or Yellow Jacket. Yeah, that would be good names for it, too. Yep, those are actual, real pillheads. You'll hear a lot of people say they will call... Here, got one right here. I can't think of the name of these, but I've heard a lot of people refer to these as pillheads. Like that. With the sunken eye, that is not a pillhead. And I try ordering pillheads, and this is what everybody wants to send me. There's a difference between them. This one's got the thickness, instead of being bigger round, it's thicker across it. This one is thin, but it's got a broader surface on it. Freestyle. Thank you, Clint. I couldn't think of the name of it to save my life. Yep, Clinton's right. It's called Freestyle. And that's a pretty cool jig head too. And you can change that jig head to put in a lot of different eyes in it. You don't, once you get your powder paint on it, it'll build up in there some. So you could go, like 5mm, 6mm eyes. You can go really big on some of those. It don't have to be that exact spot, because most people, when they powder paint them, you're going to get it thick enough where it's going to fill a lot of that in anyway. Freestyle. I cannot believe I could not think of that name. That was going to drive me nuts too. I was trying to think of somebody to text real quick, but I got my phone set up on that where I can't. But yeah, that is a actual true pillhead jig head, and I got those probably 2 years ago from a guy in Illinois, and they've been sitting in my drawer. I didn't really want to use them, but I thought I'd just go ahead and start getting them out of the way and put them in a box to tie up. So that's what we were doing. I just pulled a bag of jig heads out and started painting, and start doing some on YouTube lives. And once I figure out what day of the week for sure I want to go, it's probably going to be like a Tuesday or a Wednesday or something like that. It'll be what days I actually go live, that I'll schedule it. I know there's a lot of other people that does Mondays for sure. I forgot Lyle Stokes was doing it today, so I'm kind of running mine the same time he's running his. I don't know if I like that one. See how fuzzy that one is? I don't know if I really want to use that one or not. I'm not. I'm going to pass on that one. We'll use that in like a 64th ounce jig or something like that. There's a good one. Right there. Those straight pointy ones like that are kind of got some body to them. They're kind of come up more at a point. Those are the ones I look for. Just like that, that's my tail. That looked a little funky in the middle. It was kind of some weird stems in that one. But they'll work good for like 64s. Joe Hawk. Let's see here. Prices down at all. Haven't priced them later about it. I don't know if they've come down or not, Joe. I tied some bucktail jigs Sunday, and man, I was picking through them trying to find some left. So here pretty soon I'm gonna have to break down and go check on those, because this is the best one I got, and I'll show you how bad I've got mine picked down. That one, there's just a little bit left there on the tips, and I might be able to get these before the guard hairs, but I don't really know. I haven't been to the fly shop lately to check on that. If I had to guess, I'd say no, they didn't come down. I'm guessing wherever it was at is where it's there to stay. That would be my guess. If they were getting that out of it a month ago, 2 months ago, they're going to keep getting that out of it. Got that one right where I wanted it. Not really. Missed that one too. I'm just going to put some all the way around it. I've heard of that Midwest bucktails before. I think that guy might have messaged me and was telling me about his. I'm pretty sure that was last year when I was working a bunch of overtime and I never got a chance to get back to the guy. I want to get it set up to where I can get other tires to go on the same time I am. You know, do that split three and have a guest on, and either us tying together or just talking about jigs. I'm thinking about trying to figure out something like that. Maybe product reviews, things like that. Anybody got any good ideas? I'm up for them. I've tied with synthetic bucktail. It's not bad. Getting it to me was going to be about the same price as using bucktail. But I've used it, and I was almost going to tie these tonight out of coyote tail. I got a full real actual coyote tail, but not a big fan of using it. Seems like I itch every time when I get done. But it makes a pretty cool looking jig. It wasn't the I used. Made a pretty cool looking jig. It was like a good gray ghost color. So like I said, if y'all have got any good ideas on what to do on lives, I'm all ears. I want to hear about it. And I'm pretty sure I'll have no problem getting other people that tie, you know, I can probably definitely get some of those guys on. But I had to do something to get back into my routine, even if it's going live to help. I was starting to miss my routine, actually. I'd went almost 3 full weeks without doing any kind of jigs, any kind of baits or anything like that. How does the foxtail work? I'll tell you what, let's tie one up. Somebody asked me that question the other day. So what I did find out about the foxtail, I got quite a few different colors. The foxtail ties good. And what you got to do is, if you take that foxtail, let's see, the 10, can't find it. What you do with the foxtail, and if y'all watch on Facebook, Moose Tackle has these. I can't remember what I gave for them, but they weren't that bad. And what I do is I like get it broke open like this, and I'll pick out a strand, split it out, take a little comb and brush that. I don't know what I did with my comb. Here it is. So what I do is I take a little comb and I just comb it out straight. You can tell it's almost a cross between bucktail and marabou. Let's throw one in there. Let's throw one in the vise. Let's find we're gonna do a small one. It ties better, it seems to me, with a small jig. All right, we got 1/32. All right, so we're gonna take our foxtail, and I'm gonna go all the way up here to the tip, and I'm just gonna kind of separate it till I get something I can work with. Well, I think. I made it sound easy, and now I'm making it out to be really, really difficult. There we go. We got a good spot going right here. So there's our tail. That's going to be a little bit long for that 30 seconds. So I'm going to come back up here just a little bit. I'm going to cut that off. And what I really should have done is I really should have already had that body wrapped and ready to go. Smell calls from right in. We caught fish on chunks of Spam one time. Hot dogs, hot dog buns. All right, so we got our base layer on. Cheese. Yep, we used to catch channel cats on Velveeta cheese. Let me see if I can find some really small chenille to cover that. make it crazy. Do some red. Wasp nest larvae. You couldn't get me to dig into a wasp nest if you told me there was a chunk of gold in it. An empty one or a live one. I'll take your word on the wasp nest. I will definitely take your word on it. I really didn't want to use that kind of Chanel, but I mean, you get the picture. It ties good. There's definitely nothing wrong with buying that foxtail from Moose Tackle. I've bought a lot of material from Moose Tackle here lately, and I've got nothing bad to say about it. Ain't no way I would use it. No way. But I can see it. I guarantee you're right. But I don't know if I could. Just something nasty about a wasp. I will take your word for it. We used to fight over those big old fat white grubs that were in the garden. We would actually fight on who was going to get the fish with that. Red shoestring licorice, some of the worms, gummy bear worms I have. Do it. I would, I mean, if you shot a fox, legally, all that stuff, I would use the tail off of it. And Glenn, to answer your question about how the plastics are going absolutely horrible. If there was one thing I regret doing ever, was buying all the stuff to make plastics. I honestly should have bought the live scope setup instead of putting the money into the plastics. The market is totally flooded with plastics. It is flooded with hand-tied jigs. If you're getting into this new to sell, good luck. I hate to say it like that, but man, it is. Is it a mess? The foxtail, no, it's not a mess at all. It stays together good. It don't float around in the air like marabou or craft fur. I can't stand tying with craft fur. You tie with craft fur, man, you'll have that up in your nose and your eyes. You'll cough it up. Ain't a big fan of craft fur. Plastics was a... It's not a horrible mess if you're shooting one mode and one bait. But if you're, you mixed up a color that you're going to want 3 or 4 baits out of, so you got 3 or 4 different modes set up, it can turn into a huge mess. It's pretty neat what you can do with plastics. The possibilities are endless. The bad things about plastic is, if you buy it from me, you're going to have to pay shipping prices. If you go to Walmart and buy it, you don't have to, and that's the truth. I can mimic with the right mode just about any bait that's on the market, but by the time I get my cost figured into it, sometimes you're better off just go to Walmart and get it. No, I'm not going to the Crappie Expo in Birmingham. It'd be a cool show to go to. I've been to all the ones Wally Marshall's had in Branson. And I'm sure the one in Birmingham is going to be just as good of a show. What the one I want to do, and if I can get enough hand ties built up and some plastic built up, is I want to do the show, Steve Douglas's show in Louisville, Kentucky. The Catfish Crappie Conference. I want to do that one. And I think he's already taken vendors for that one. So um, I'll have to come up with a game plan on what I want to do, what I want to take down, how much of what I want to take. But I'm pretty sure if I go, it's going to be more hand-tied jigs than plastic jigs. Only stateside is flooded with homemade plastic flooded jigs here in Australia. Going through the official make the plastic makes benefits over here still. Yeah, it's. I wish we had some of that Australia market, because I tell you, there's not much money to be made in it anymore. And I'm shooting at most. At the most, I'm shooting like maybe 20, 40, maybe 60 jigs at a time. Those guys with those machines are shooting, 1,000 at a time. Bait shops want to pay you wholesale. They want to buy them at wholesale prices, and I don't blame them. If I was running a bait shop, and trying to make money, that's how you're going to do it. You're going to get your stuff for the smallest price possible. Yeah, the market for it's bad. There's a lot of people that jump in. They'll way undercut themselves and not realize they're doing it. The way I see it is each inch of this chenille costs something. Each pinch of feathers costs, a little bit. My time, I don't even try to figure my time into it. I just, that's just part of it. And if you could devote 8 hours to it a day, maybe I'm not seeing that side of it either. I'm just seeing that there's not a big demand for anything I sell plastic. If I sell, somebody messages me and they want to buy one pack of something. So, $3.75 for that pack of jigs. Shipping's almost more than that now. You're paying, more for shipping than you are for the actual product. So, yeah, it's got to be a pretty tough market. I'm better off I have a mate in Oklahoma tells me it's extremely hard to make a decent dollar. Here in Australia, jig time materials just doesn't catch on, and yet my dressed up jigs catch on. And that's pretty much what I'm doing too, Glenn. Yeah, he's right. Your friend in Oklahoma's right. It's hard. It's hard to. It'd be hard to show that you actually did it and made a good profit off of it. If by the time you figure up what you spend on materials, shipping, I don't see where you get in there that you can afford to really pay yourself unless you're buying huge bulks of stuff at really cheap wholesale prices. And there's a lot of places that'll sell you all this material at wholesale prices. As long as you got a tax ID number, you can actually go from buying marabou from an ounce to pounds. And that, it lasts quite a while. You're gonna buy by pounds. It'll last you a long time. Forgot where I was at. The going price for jigs. I've seen some today on the internet with no eyes, painted head, Chanel body, feather tail they were selling for $1.50 a piece. $1.50. Which, you know, ain't really that bad. Postage to Australia is $50. I've sent to Canada, Germany, South Africa too. One time I think, where I was talking to somebody about shipping to South Africa, but I know shipping just to Canada was $35. And the scary thing about shipping to Canada and getting outside the United States is all your tracking numbers stop once it hits the border of the United States. The United States Post Office won't track it anymore. And I don't know about UPS if they would or not. I'm not really sure. Let's see, my jigs when sold, painted, and tied, get $10 each. Strider, good evening, bud. Star Rider, forgot how to pronounce that. Go for $10 a piece. I've sold them. Well, I mean, everybody's got their price. Everybody's got a price that they got in mind that they're going to sell their jigs for. Yeah, getting good quality material. And like I said, if you're looking for material, don't pass up Moose Tackle. I've got a lot of material right here on my table that came from him. I got a lot of tackle that came, or material that came from him, and a lot from Plateau Fly Shop in Springfield. But Moose Tackle, pretty good on some of their prices. I'll never not use Plateau Fly Shop, though. I know that. They will always be my favorite. Yeah, I've talked to him before, too. He's a really good guy to deal with. And like I said, if anybody's curious about him, when I first seen him, I wasn't sure. I really thought I got scammed. But it all showed up. So hit him up, look him up, tell him I sent you. We're going to throw a little orange in the back of this one. And I'm going to go for about another, well, I'll probably finish out 3 of these. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to make Tuesday nights the nights that I go live. I had it all planned out. I was going to use that Chanel and change my mind. Chartreuse pink and orange. What do y'all think? Probably like around the same time. Probably be around 7 o'clock. Yeah, I'm guessing around 7. That ain't too bad. I'll go with that. Something just totally oddball. Oh yeah, we got a lot, but believe it or not, my favorite feathers were coming from England a couple years ago. When they couldn't get nothing over here, we'd found a supplier in England that was selling feathered tips. And that's all it was just a bag of tips. So I was getting a bag of tips for like $3 because that's all you use out of a like strung saddle hackle. Here's a whole bunch of Canadian geese just went over. I kind of like that. I think that'd come out kind of cool. What do y'all think? Thumbs up? Like it? Don't like it? I think it's kind of cool looking. Brian, I'm in Southwest Missouri. There's a park a couple miles down the road from me, and I'm pretty sure those Canadian geese are headed to that park. There's a big pond in the middle of that park. I like it. I kind of sharp looking. Man, I'm impressed with that one. I like it. I will put it right in the middle of a treetop too. Probably the first time I drop it down. I don't know if I can get that black stripe on. A black tiger stripe. Man, you got me thinking now. I almost really want to do that. I don't know where my marker is. We'll save it. When I do live next time, we'll get that jig back out and we'll tiger stripe it. That was definitely worthy of a treetop. Definitely worthy of a treetop. It is me too, Henry. I can promise you this. I don't know. It's hard to describe how relaxing tying jigs is. Yeah, I'm still doing them. Actually, I can do them now on Saturday mornings. I do it all the time. Do it, take bet. If you do, if you do want to book a trip, let me know what you want to go after. If you want to go after crappie and white bass, we'll go to Palmy and do that. We could probably do it on Stockton, but I haven't really got that familiar yet with the lake. And I don't want to take anybody on a walleye trip because I cannot guarantee you at all that we'd even get a bite. I didn't make it back out there this weekend to see if the weekend before was just luck or if I'd actually put together a pattern. So until I know for sure what the walleye do, I won't. I mean, I would do a guided walleye trip, but kind of iffy on, getting some fish. I guarantee you the experience, but I can't guarantee you we're going to put fish in a boat. Kentucky Redneck Outdoors, I'm glad I helped. That's the only reason I done it. I started doing YouTube videos was a lot of people wanted to see how I was doing it. And it was easier to just get on YouTube and show people how I done it. Since retirement, really relaxing. Thanks for knowledge and sharing. Very welcome, Mike. Comments like that is what I love hearing. If you're watching this after the fact, I try to answer every comment I get. Some of them I don't see for usually I can get them all pretty quick, but every once in a while I'll find one that, is like a couple weeks old that I never got a chat. I didn't answer, didn't even know it was there. So, don't be afraid to message me a couple times to get my attention. Facebook Messenger, you can always send me a message on there too. I'll help you out with as much as I can. But don't ever be afraid to message me. I'll help you out. I do the same thing with fishing. I don't. Henry, good night to all y'all from San Antonio, Texas. Until your next live. Henry, you have a good evening, bud, and we will see you next time. I'm going to tie this one here up, and I believe I'm done for the evening. Like I said, if you're watching this afterwards, if you got ideas of what you want to see me do on my lives, people you want me to have on my lives, send me a message, let me know. And please don't forget to hit that like button, hit that thumbs up. That keeps YouTube moving my videos forward. Without that like button, they don't know whether or not they're going to share it or not. Got a wild hair there somewhere. Man, I just had a bunch of comments all at one time. With the tree rats got you started tying, Jamie. Ryan, I love you being on, man. I appreciate that. All the way from Australia. That's awesome. I love hearing about other things that's going on and the struggles of jig tying and selling, somewhere outside the United States. That's pretty cool. And yeah, this Peak Vice, this was the original first one I bought. I painted it. Of course, the paint didn't hold, but just something just to make mine just a little bit different than everybody else's. I got a really bad habit of not leaving well enough alone a lot of times. Really bad habit of not leaving well enough alone. But it's cool, it stands out, it's different. Somebody messaged me one time a few weeks ago, or well, probably a year ago, and wanted to know how the paint was still kind of fresh and nice looking on it. And he's like, well, where did you get the painted Peak Vice? And I told him, I said, well, just message those guys at Peak, telling me what the same color Vice as I got. Just looked only 2 likes. Yeah, all the likes are, kind of feels like sometimes like you're begging, for it. But, it does help. It helps the views. It helps the algorithm, helps push everything forward a little bit. And that way I know people are watching. The last couple months, mine has just crashed. Kind of got me to the point where I was done with it. It's tying jigs is not exciting content to the majority of the people in the United States. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It's one of those things that if you're doing it, it's interesting. But if you don't do it, a lot of people... a lot of people ain't going to get on YouTube to watch a goat roping video. It's kind of a special kind of thing. But, it ain't all got to be about jig tying. It can be about fishing. It can be about anything. So, with that being said, I'm going to hop off here. Just handmade a bass boat. You have to send me some pictures of that. Get a hold of me on Facebook. Crappie fishing with some hand ties. Man, you have no idea how many times I've gone out in that boat, set cameras up on it, and the fish don't bite. Forget to put the cameras up, the fish go nuts. You get a good footage of something really good that happened, it didn't record. Not on Facebook. Send me a message on here. I'll send you my cell phone number and you just text me or anything like that if it's not an outrageous price. But I've been trying to get better at it. Out of all those walleye I caught, I got one ended up on tape. It went down so fast that I never even turned the cameras on. Wallace, you're welcome, and thank you for getting on and watching. I appreciate that too. Thank you, Ronnie. Appreciate that. TikTok's taking over with a lot of content. Funny thing is I was on TikTok Sunday morning and had probably 300 people watching. I was on TikTok as soon as I came home from work today for a little while, just trying to get the feel of see what was going on. I had like 65 or 70. I don't know. There for a while, I was done with YouTube and was just going to do all TikTok. And then I was done with TikTok and go on do all YouTube. So I'm just going to get on YouTube and just do my thing. I'll do TikToks every once in a while too. But I am getting off here, guys. Y'all have a good evening. Send me a message. Let me know what you want to see. Like I said, until next time, hit that thumbs up. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching, guys.